all connected. Thought I had it all together, but I didn't. There we go. That's my little lovely tune for you all today. So, welcome, welcome to the Guru Mama Live, brought to you by me. I have no sponsors. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Mary June Tracy, the Guru Mama, bringing you the 411 of the crazy shenanigans of the world. Oh my goodness. It is crazy out there in the world. It's crazy. What do we have? We have like earthquakes happening down in Chile. We have I think we had one in the Virgin Islands and a few other places, like earthquakes, like crazy. You know, the earth is shaking, man. It's trembling. What else did we have? First of all, I have to say about my outfit, when I looked at myself on when I looked at, I'm like, oh, I look very I feel, I feel like I look very nunly. Look very nunly, very appropriate with this black shirt. It is a Calvin Klein though. You know, it is Calvin Klein. It is trendy, kind of. But then I put this sweater on because I was cold. So, what can I say? All right, I'll be nunly today. It's just okay. We have, of course, the sun is in Leo right now. We have, or the sun, no, the moon is in Leo, the sun is in Taurus. And we have a lot of just there's just so much. There's so much. We're gonna work on the heart chakra today. That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna bring in some really nice herbs and everything in order to get things going. So this is really a energy today. It's fierce, it's tender, and it's transformational. It's like that ooey gooey. I'm gonna say the man with the muscles who is fierce and strong, yet tender and loving. And with Pluto in retrograde and the Leo moon shining bright, this is where we're being asked to lead from the heart. So we're going to be bringing in some beautiful energies to help to protect it, to empower it, and for us to remain strong and true to who we are. It is a time of stepping forward and getting it done. Now, on that note about being fierce and all of that beautiful scrumptiousness, we have the soul fire, a new divine cycle, which is going to be May 24th from 10 to 3 online. It's going to be on Google Meet, and we're going to be doing soul teaching. I'm going to do some astrological wisdom, sacred rituals, working with that fire walk of the divine will, because we're working with the, and I'm going to be explaining what Helio is and what what Helio means and what that means to this conjunction that's going to be happening and coming up. We're going to build your altar to the new cycle. So we're going to upgrade and bring this altar into forum and guided meditation, soul flame activation. So sharing cycle and soul vision seeds. So we're going to bring in all of that loveliness. And it's going to be from 10 to 3. I already have my agenda already set up. If you're wanting to join me, it's $88 Canadian. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope you are. So we're just plugging along. I mean, I have the summer series. I have the summer sacred series for June, July, and August. So if you're, for that, I have that all up and ready to go for people, and that's $100 for all three, or $50 if you just want to join me for one. Right now, we are doing the magical journaling journey, and totally enthralled with that. I really love it. I had the first meeting yesterday, so I know other people were busy, But we get together either Saturday evening or Sunday, and just to connect and to see where people are at. Because the thing is that with these series and things I'm doing, I want to hold people accountable. I want to, challenge people, because if you're just taking the course just to sit and get by, that's not what these are for. That's not what, even though it's self-directed, even though it's, I give you the booklet and everything and a video, and it's not just to be self-directed. This is where I want people to do the work. And that's where we're at. You have to start doing the work. If you're not doing the work on yourself spiritually, or within prayer, meditation, um, changing up how you are thinking, allowing yourself to broaden your point of view, broaden in how you are thinking, then you're going to find that you're going to be very lost. Right? I was talking to my son yesterday, and he said, yeah, there's something about the WEF. He had no idea what the WEF was. I said, that's a World Economic Forum, and, sort of explained to him. But these are the things that people are like, well, what is this all about? What does this mean? And when you first start looking at it, it can be scary, it can be overwhelming. But if we are setting ourselves into a spiritual base and getting ourselves connected with our divine and into these new cycles that are coming in. And the thing is that planets are going to do what they're going to do. If you are not going to rock and roll with it, if you're not going to move with it, if you're going to sit there on the sidelines and think you're going to be okay, I think you're going to get really, I think you can get really knocked around very easily with all of this energy, and you can get very misled in many ways. So that's why it's so important to be able to start your own spiritual practice, take as many different courses as you can to learn, to activate, and to transform your new way of coming together. Now, right now, we are tapping into some very potential astrological moments that's asking us to grow spiritually and courageously. And we're wrestling with the somatics of it, and the collective and personal disillusionment. And we want to break down the major parts of this energy. So we have Pluto that is retrograde now. And Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius. It went retrograde yesterday. And this retrograde will not go back into Capricorn. And that's very important to understand. Why is that important to understand? Because it means the old structure of power, because Capricorn is power. Capricorn wants to keep structure. They want to do it a certain way. We've always done it this way. This is the way we're going to do it. It is government, institutions. If you ever meet if I ever do a reading for a Capricorn, I'm kind of honored, because Capricorns don't like readings, right? Because they want the structure, they want the meat and potatoes. So if there's a strong Capricorn energy within their chart, they usually want, they don't like to try, it's the power, it's the structure of power, and no longer our primary terrain. So we are fully in Aquarian territory. This is technology, this is freedom, this is revolution, this is collective consciousness, and the questions of control and who controls the future. And right now with Pluto going retrograde, it's going to be going back over a lot of what we need, what we need to reclaim. So are we giving away our power to the system, or are we reclaiming it? What are you doing? And this is what you're going to be doing over the next 6 months. You're going to be starting to look at this and analyze it. Are we operating from fear or transformation? Are we stepping into this transformation? Are we stepping into this newness? How do we revolutionize without becoming the thing we are rebelling against? So much. And that's just with Pluto retrograde. Spiritually, Pluto retrograde is a decent descent into the underworld of our collective psyche, facing shadow aspects around control, progress, and community. We are going to be seeing that with government. We are going to be seeing it even with friends, with people that want to try and control you, want to try and get you to do something you don't want to do, or be somewhere you don't want to be. And this is where you start looking at, well, where are those communities? I've been speaking about communities for a long time. And now I'm, this is about stepping into the community. How are you stepping out? How are you connecting? And that's where this revolutionary energy is coming in. We have that Jupiter is on, Jupiter is just deciding to square all the big wigs. He's squaring Saturn and he's squaring Neptune, and then he's squaring the North Node. And Jupiter expands, Saturn restricts, right? Neptune dissolves boundaries, and the North Node demands growth, right? So together, this is a triple square, and it's overload. And this energy can be very overloading today and over the next several days. So too much expansion without a solid foundation. So we can expand and we can dissolve and we can do all of that, but we still need to have some kind of foundation within it all. How are we creating that foundation? What are we doing with that foundation? Right? Disillusionment. Idols that don't match our reality. Neptune. Do we have false idols in our life that just do not match up with us, do not show with us? Right? And it's really to look at that truthfully and soulfully within our own lives. That's why I've devised this series of workbooks throughout the summer that you can work at your own pace. This is why I'm doing that course on the 24th. So there's a lot of different things I'm doing. Some people will align with it, some people won't, and that's perfectly okay. Maybe there's something else out there that really aligns with you, that you really need to get your teeth into it. And it's the fated course correction. The North Node is asking, where are we willing and where are we really going? And this is a hard, stay positive Jupiter, and we're up against some harsh materials, which is Saturn, illusions, Neptune, and a destiny point that requires courage. So we're in a place we have to have the courage to go forward. And think of this square as the universe saying, you want a better future, then face the truth. You have to face the truth of what's going on around you. You can't hide. You can't put your head in the sand. You have to look at it and say, oh, holy shit, this is all a bunch of fucking bullshit. What am I going to do about it? And some people work with this different ways. I mean, some people might get active and become an activist. Some people are saying, you know what, I'm going to go live somewhere else. I want to create a more harmonious way of life for me. So I want to move and I want to be in another place. Others, like, look at it and say, you know what, maybe this is the time that we separate. And separation comes in. This is facing it. This is spiritually, this is politically, and this is personally on all of those three levels. And we're being thrown the political like crazy, all over the place. We're seeing that. So this is where I want you to take it in spiritually. How is this working for you spiritually? And how can you really bring in that personally? The personal and the spiritual, because that's going to allow you to handle whatever's going on politically and within the shenanigans that are going on there. And along with that, we have then Mars is trining. So trines aren't bad. Trines are pretty good. But it helps us to ground the energy. That Mars is trining over to Saturn, is trining over to Neptune, and Venus trining over to Mars. So we want to bring in some balance with all of this and give us a spiritual stamina and a soul-led action, especially with Neptune. So this might be even people looking at, okay, this is how I used to believe in things. This is how I used to do things, right? So this is where it's really a reconnection with the soul, reconnection with the earth, and allowing ourselves to look within and start having conversations with ourselves. And those conversations are really having us to take a really soulful look and listening to guidance. Because when I talk about altars and that, we can set up beautiful altars all over the place, right? And have altars, we can go out in nature and things. But the true altar is our bodies. How do we connect with our bodies? How do we connect with our substance, our soul, our spirit? And that's what's coming in. These are, as I said, fated course of corrections. The North Node. The North Node is coming in fierce and strong, and it's in Pisces. And it says, where are we really going? Right? Where are we really going? Where are we taking this journey? How are we taking this journey? How are we going to connect? And then we have this beautiful moon that comes in today, and it's in Leo. And that's a beautiful activation of the heart chakra. Whew, bringing it to the heart, right? So the moon in Leo is that internal energy. And Leo's ruled by the sun. So the moon really has to get into this, right? Because it has to get into that expression. It has to get into that play. It has, there's a cry if you need this. This is an antidote, and it can to overload, right? To be generous. So this is a beautiful day if you need it to get out, get active, participate in something, maybe even volunteer at a place. This is where it's like, allowing yourself to, with all of this energy that's running through us right now and downloading through us, we need to get out and get active in some way and start living from the heart and not the trauma. And this moment is inviting us to live from the heart, having us come back into the heart. So I want you throughout this day, with the bombardment of the collective chaos that is going on in this world, is that placing your hands on your heart. And I love to do this. I love putting my hands on my heart. And it's, just inhaling and exhaling and asking, what would love do here? What would love do here? If you are in a crisis, if you are in some kind of trauma, you're undecided in something, put your hands on your heart. Protect your joy like it is sacred, because it is. This is a sacred journey that we are taking at this time. This is a loving journey that we are taking at this time. And we need to embrace it. We need to engulf ourselves with all of it and come into this beautiful scrumptiousness of it and allow ourselves to see. And with this Taurus energy, with the sun in Taurus, it really gets us to ground things in, right? And bring in that grounding. A little mantra I wrote today is, I anchor my heart in internal flame of truth. Through the world trembles, I remain rooted in the divine courage. And when I was, when that came to me and I was looking at him, just thinking, oh my God, the trembling of the earth. And I was thinking of the earthquakes that are happening right now and a new fault line that's being created within the world right now. And so a lot of things are moving and shifting within this newness. And as we are coming into this newness, everything is yelling and screaming. If you've ever been in witnessed a woman giving birth, right? It's like you'd go in there and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? And all this pain, you just like, it's very overwhelming, right? To be there and to see it. But it's like, as soon as that head is appearing, soon as the head is starting to crown, it's like there's kind of a release there, but that's where you have to kind of slow it down. Like you just can't push that baby out as much as you want to. But there's that moment where you just have to come back into the breath, allow for short breaths so that you could do the final push. Because you got to make sure everything is right and where the cord is and everything else. So you want to make sure that all is good, right? Before you do the final out the chute, so to say. And then still, even after the baby's born, there's still more to be birthed. You have the afterbirth, you have the placenta to come in, right? So you got to clear that all out. You got to bring that all out. And that's that nourishing part that really nourished the baby to grow. And this is where we're at. We're at this time. We're not even crowning yet. We're not near the crowning. We're still in that achy part. That's why it's so wonderful to have this beautiful energy that is strong, and reclaiming that energy, that beautiful energy that's coming in to have us to look at things, right? So this is where we really need to look at the beauty that is around us and how we are coming into this freedom. And it may not feel like freedom, right? It may not feel like that. And this is where, with the intensity of this Leo moon, it's saying come back to the heart. Express, play, be generous, cry if you need to. Let things out. Don't hold it all in. You got, coming to this heart chakra. This is the moment is inviting us to live from the heart, as I said, not from the trauma. So coming into that beautiful energy. So one of the herbs that I was thinking of today was hawthorn. Hawthorn is a beautiful herb. It is to connect with the heart. It strengthens and protects the heart, both emotionally and physically. It has long been used for grief, heartbreak, and overwhelming stress. You know, uh, our wise women knew this. If somebody came and they're overwhelmed and they're in grief, they would make, let me make a beautiful tea for you, right? And it's a sacred herb of May in the Beltane. And it's associated with the Fey realm and the ancient rites of passage. So bringing that in to help us to open hearted without collapsing, allowing ourselves to come into this beautiful energy. And I feel like hawthorn is a beautiful plant, a herb, a tree to utilize, right? And it is heart medicine, right? The wise women knew it was heart medicine. It calms anxiety, emotional trauma, supports cardiovascular health, enhances emotional resilience, bridges the world and the unseen with gentle guardianship. And you can use this. You can find it. You can go and get hawthorn tea just as a tea itself. You can get it as a tincture or a small pouch near your heart, right? So you can carry it and put it on a little necklace and have it there for you. Bringing that forth. A lot of times that was what they used for, and I'm not a medical doctor. This is just what I have read. It was used, for high blood pressure and for people to use it for high blood pressure. So another cardiovascular issues. So bringing that forth. The crystal is rhodonite, and rhodonite works with Venus and Mars energy. So both active today in the trine, helping balance love and desire in action. It teaches us to use emotional strength and gift for service and not self-destructive. So Pluto retrograde and Jupiter squares challenge our path. Rhodonite helps and it reminds us to come back again to the heart center. Rhodonite is a beautiful one. Rhodonite is actually being used for a lot of engagement rings now. And it's being, a lot of women are for engagement rings are using rhodonite. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So it supports deep heart healing and forgiveness, grounds emotional energy into productive form, encourages clarity when facing emotional triggers, and activates loving boundaries. Bringing it in. If you can get rhodonite and have it as utilize it, and if you can get if you can get at least 8 pieces of rhodonite, and you can put it in put it in a circle. Now rhodonite works really nice with rhodonite and I gotta think of it. I gotta think of it right now. My mind. Rose quartz. That's what it is. Rhodonite and rose quartz works beautiful together. It's harmonizing. It's It helps with grounding. It helps with bringing forth that of what you want. Charlene says childhood trauma. So, and that's what we want. We want to heal things. We want to heal things with that. So we look at when I think of everything that we were wanting to do, of course it's the tarot card of strength, right? So, and we have this Leo moon, that wants to anchor into the heart chakra, wants to come into the heart chakra, and despite outer turmoil, because there's a lot in this world. You turn on the news. I've a lot of information and stuff has come across my feed lately, and I've looked into a few things, and it's interesting to see how people are reacting. And it's also allowing yourself to not get emotionally involved in it, to take an eagle's perch and allow yourself to look at it in different ways. And with Pluto retrograde and Jupiter under the pressure, this strength tells us to lead with gentle courage. And where the moon is and where the sun is, I mean, they're in two signs that they don't like to be. The moon is exalted in Taurus, right? And of course, the sun wants to be home in Leo. And it doesn't feel good to be anchored down to the earth. So it's like pulling that energy down into the earth. And the sun wants to go out and it wants to shine and wants to, be that beautiful illumination. So we have the Pluto and the retrograde and the Jupiter. So the strength tells us to lead gentle courage, self-compassion, and spiritual discipline. It also reminds us that the inner beast, the fear, the ego, the doubt, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, can be tamed, and not by domination, but by love. If you're fearful of something, address the fear. What are you fearful of, right? What's going on? What is your doubt? And is it true? Is that a true doubt, right? Because sometimes the doubt comes in. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Or this is going to happen. You got to say, is that really true? So you're stronger than you know, but not in the way the world defines strength. Your tenderness, your hope, your fears, that is your power, right? That's the power. And that's what we need to come into. We got to come into that tenderness. And I did a post for Hawthorne, Rhodonite, and Strength. So I posted them out already this morning. I've been up early this morning working on some of this stuff. And I'm finding it really transformational in doing and diving more into this than I ever have before. And I find this energy today, even though it's fierce, and as I said, fierce and tender and transformational, this is bringing in Rhodonite, the empowerment and strength, reminding us that love is our truest force. Love is the healer, right? And many times we want to push off love. We don't want to deal with the love. I don't want to do love. But with the sun in Taurus, it wants to ground. It wants us to look at our values and our embodiment. It's not a spotlight. It's spotlighting what truly matters. And Uranus is still on Elgo. Just went, over it, but that's shaking the roots of our values. It's shaking the roots in a dramatic, even revolutionary way. And hold on, I got to go get my plug because I'm on a roll now. And of course, everything wants to die. So hang on, don't go anywhere. I'm on a roll. Not gone far. Take this moment to put your hands on your heart and breathe. So it tromps around like a little old lady. There we go. I am back. We're going to plug it in so I don't die. Don't die. But this is true. It's the roots. This is like things like Uranus is shaking shit up. It's like, shaking and getting all the things that no longer need to be on these roots. And it's breaking things down spiritually, astrologically, and energetically. So yeah, I mean, we might be feeling drained, we might be feeling, but there's as as we're just feeling one way, it's just like feeling like this boost is trying to come in and boost us up through this all. So Venus rules Taurus. So it's about security, self-worth, pleasure, comfort, beauty, and the connection to the earth. How are you connecting? Are you living in alignment with your core values or someone else's? There's that, what was it? I know it was some movie I was watching many moons ago, but every time she had a boyfriend, she would change what she liked, Um, if her boyfriend loved to have boiled eggs in the morning, she'd have boiled eggs in the morning. Oh, I just love boiled eggs. If you love poached eggs, it was poached eggs. So whatever he loved, she loved. So she changed everything for every man that she was with. So this is like she was going with somebody else's values, somebody else's likes and dislikes, not her own. And this is like where it's coming into saying, okay, what do you like? Oh, I don't know. That's why, so many times I've done readings for people and they come in and I ask them and they're like, I don't know what I like. I don't know like what I want to do. Really? Well, and I would sort of break the ice. Do you like sex? And they'd start laughing. Well, yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we're starting somewhere. We know something you do like. Um, so it's like, do you like to color? Do you like to go for walks? Do you like to weave or braid hair or whatever it is? This is what it's starting to look and start looking at what your core values are. How do you feel about your family? What do you feel about, money, everything like that, right? And are you building something sustainable, not just profitable? If you're just thinking about your own, like, oh, I got to get money, 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 which it can easily be done. I know. I get there. I get there. I'm guilty of that one because I'm always fearful that I don't have enough money. Well, right now I don't, but I mean, it's where thinking about, oh my God, what about tomorrow? Oh my God, do I have rent? Do I have enough money saved in the bank? The thing is that you want to make yourself sustainable, and part of the sustainability is love, right? Not just profitable, not just what's happening in the bank. And do your values nourish your body and soul or only your ego? Ooh, these are Journey Club questions, man. This is Journey Club. The world's going through Journey Club. That's what's happening. So if you haven't taken my Journey Club, God bless you. But this is like the world's going through Journey Club. And all of you who've taken Journey Club, you are prepared for this all. Just saying. So, core values. Core values. What are core values? 50 common core values are, let's go through this: bravery, innovation, compassion, achievement, integrity, dependability, adaptability, accountability, humility. So those are some of the core values. So there are 5 core values, which comes into integrity, generosity, courage, gratitude, well-being, and education. There's more, but those are some of the core values that people have. So what is your integrity? Where's your generosity, your courage, your gratitude, well-being, and education? I feel like I'm doing Journey Club right now. I really do. You're getting Journey Club in a So here we are. We're at this place of revolutionary energy and sacred rage. I mean, this sacred rage is like, ooh, there's a book. I don't know if any of you have read it, but don't fall over. Oh, everything falls. This one here, this one, The Holy Wild, the Heathen Bible for Untamed Women. Read it. Read it. This is a good book. You know, This is where it's like it's a rising what has been demonized. The Medusa. I did that with I did a post today with Medusa and a lightning bolt and transformation. And this is like, she was demonized. I mean, do you know the it's terrifying. Uh, the story of Medusa. I mean, it's horrific. When you go into the mythology of Medusa, I mean, Neptune is an asshole. He raped her. He raped her in Venus's uh, in her church or whatever you call it. And then because he wanted her, and of course Athena was like, oh my god, because he was having an affair with her too. I mean, you gotta love these gods. They're having an affair with everybody. And you know this is where he went to Zeus and he said, hey man, this girl's giving me havoc, and we got to do something about it. And of course Zeus, being the little brother to Neptune, said, yeah, okay, bro, I got it. I got your back. Let's do something to her. So they made her who she was. She made her as a person who, if you look at her, you turn to stone. It was basically off with your heads. That's what the energy of Elko is, physically and non-physically. So we have this uprooting of what no longer serves you is coming up. And an awakening. This is unstable, it's electric, it's overwhelming, but it's an opportunity of a profound liberation. Now this energy that's coming in now with Uranus just, this is like a trembling that's going to be happening for a while, because he's going to go eventually into Gemini and then retrograde back. So this energy that's coming in, and Elgo is a fixed star, it doesn't move. Well, anyways, it doesn't really move. So this energy that's coming in is bringing in some awakening disruptions. Now, if you think of everything that I was just saying with all the movements of the planets, you look at the way the world is right now, you're like, holy shit. Yeah, there's disruptions. And this is where it's like, okay, you're hearing maybe one point, try and look into the other points and the other things that are going on. Do you know exactly what's happening in China? It's not, it's, everybody's thinking that, oh, they're doing fine because we can go on TikTok and you see all these people advertising their stuff to buy and looking at, oh yeah, I'll buy it direct from China. Remember, you still have to pay for it when it comes in. These are the things people aren't looking at. The other things that are happening, it's not only there, it's what's happening in Australia. Australia just basically, where they could have gotten out of their bullshit, just stayed in the bullshit. And who are they making as the big bad bear? And then you got to go and ask. And this is, again, the same thing I said before. You see people going, oh, this is a bad bear. Well, why is the bear bad? What's the bear doing? And how is that bear? Right? What makes the bear bad? And who's saying the bear is bad? Right? It's all of, and even all the information that's coming out about it's oh my goodness. Okay, so much is going through my head right now. Thinking about all what's in the shot, in the elixir, right? And they put into the elixir. And part of that is aborted fetuses is in the elixir. It's all part of the mix of putting the DNA and everything else in there. And a lot of people don't want to look at that. It's disgusting, it's gross, but that's one of the reasons why there was such a political party really pushed for it, and really pushed for later abortions, like later on in pregnancies, so that they can have a full formation of the fetus, right? And this is like coming from a place where women need it. And I really, if you, anyways, I understand choices that women have to make. I really do. And I've counseled women after, and I've counseled women during, and back in the days of my young youth. And one of the things is that I understand is that it was a necessity, because women are going to find it whether people like it or not. And the thing is that we'd rather have it done medically, at a proper stage, than later on, or having them go to back alley abortionists, because that's horrific. And that's what happened for years, right up into the 70s, 80s. And you think, oh, well, well, that's not long ago. That's not long ago, right? Where women had to go and run away to get this done for whatever reason. It could be out of wedlock. It could be that she's tired and she doesn't want to have a sixth child, right? Or what have you, right? Or they just could not afford it anymore. Like, it's just too much on her body and forced into it. So for whatever reason, there was a reason why it was put into place. But I find that anytime that something that is positive can be put into place, how easily evil can get into it and take it out of something that is helpful. I mean, I had a grandmother. My grandmother died because she bled to death after having an abortion. She was an unwed mother, and it was the 1920s, and it was 1920. No, it was in the 30s. So this was a woman who needed, some help, and didn't get the help that she needed properly, and went in to supposedly a hospital, and then ended up bleeding to death. And my mother was orphaned at the age of 9. But that's just one of those horrific stories, right? And so something that is that can be helpful, right, can be twisted and turned. And we see that over and over again. That's why it's so important to take a look at things more deeply. The feminist movement, and why well, it's for equal rights to equal jobs. Well, really, most women don't go into welding. On average, women don't go into welding jobs. And if they do go into welding jobs, I mean, it is a hard market to get into, but a lot of times they do get hired, and they do get paid very well. Or women driving truck or what have you. But those aren't usual things that women go into. But they made it that women had to get out and go to work and have independence, and and bring forth that independence and what have you. Whatever propaganda was fed has led to a nation that is corrupt and horrific. Now, I don't want to get into any, I just this collective, this energy of Elgo and Uranus. This is where it leads, but it's an opportunity of liberation. And if you can feel unstable, electric, or even overwhelming, it's going to bring an opportunity. If you're allowing yourself to feel that insecurity, and really feel into it, and feel into that fear, and allow yourself to look into that fear of why you're feeling that fear. It's like going into that birth. Yeah, it's a scary thing. Even after the third and fourth time, it's still scary, because now you know what the hell you're going to go through. But it's like, if you can embrace that, the transformation is great. The financial system, the agricultural, the body autonomy, and the earth's voice. This is what's going to be changing. I mean, the fear of taking away money, taking away, and having everything electric, on electronic. And as I say, it's like, it just, gold and silver have always been the way. Now it's copper. Like, in making of copper. Copper is a huge one. I mean, that's why, these are things these are things that Mother Nature gives us, right? And creates for us. And the thing is that they've never gone wrong. They bring us to where we need to go to. So this is not a time to numb out or hold on to outdated security blankets. This is a time of reclaiming our sovereignty, listening to the earth, and embodying the wild grace of our own values. Even if the world tells you that they're too much, that you can't do that. And this is where we're stepping into this fierceness and this disruption and allowing ourselves to embrace it and embracing that disruption through it all. And it's going to get, and I was going to pull out one of these. But my energy of the earth, because this one here, I want to pull out this one. There's just so much there for us to embrace. And I feel the transformations are there. I can feel it inside myself. I'm not sure how these courses are going to go. I just have to put it out there and let it go. I don't know how my, the Sacred Summer series is going to go. I have to put it out there. I can't just sit idle and be scared and say, I don't know, nobody signs up. Well, if nobody signs up, then nobody signs up. I'm doing what I need to be doing. I'm doing the work that I'm being called to do. I'm listening. That's different. So I'm listening. Yes, that is totally different. So bringing in, that newness is something in these evolutionary changing times. It'll be interesting to hear what the premier has to say at 3:00 today. That's going to be interesting here in Alberta. And how she's going to address everything. Because we have First Nations acting up. First Nations, even the letter that was written was lawyers have even looked at that letter and has just said that's just like feeling like somebody on council just wrote it up or something. I'm telling people to step down and don't take this any longer. But this is where it's like, okay, this is awakening. This is really getting people to really look at, okay, what the truth is. And a lot of people don't want to give up on the dependence that they've had, right? You've been dependent. It's like, thank you. I don't know why I love my guides. It's like when you have to wean your child off your boob. If anybody's ever had to do that, it's not always easy, right? And, it's not easy for the mom. It's not easy for the baby. And depending on what age, I've seen people breastfeeding their children till 3 years old and this kid crawling up on a mom's lap and pulling out her boob. And I'm like, okay, there's time to, it comes a time that you have to say no more, right? This is now you have to become more independent. You have to become more self-reliant. That means I'm going to give you, here's your milk, right? Here's your juice. Here's your water, right? You drink it out of a cup now. You don't drink it out of your mother. So this is where it's, it's not saying the mother's not there, but it's just giving you that independence with it all. And we start off with the journey. So the journey card comes in. She's got all her bags packed. She's deciding on what direction she wants to go into. So we're setting off on a new journey and going into a new direction. The bags are packed. I am attracting wonderful new adventures to me. My life is a blessing. Take me to new places inside and out. So we're going on to a new direction. You may desire to move or just get away for a while. So you might want to, I don't want to do this right now. I need to hide away for a bit. But this is where you got to remember you can always create a new adventure. There's always something there. So something new is being created. And with that, the magician in the mirror. Ooh. So we have the magician in the mirror that comes in. And the magician comes in and he's looking at things and it's like, he's a magician. Remember, magicians can be tricksters. Mercury can be the trickster. Mercury may not have all that information you think he has. He might be telling you something or trying to get you to look in a different direction. So what's being revealed to you in that mirror, right? So things are being revealed. And this is about your culmination of your personal and spiritual power. You know, the magician's left hand, you look at his left hand, right? Is passion and action, and in his right is the vortex of water and the light of reflection. The highly beneficial is this card telling you that you are the magician within your own grasp. You got it. You are the altar. You are the power, the glory. This is about you claiming your power and embracing your power as you're looking at the journey you're going to be embarking on. You might want to take a moment. You want to go sit in nature. You might want to go sit by the water to really see, okay, is this really the direction I really want to take into? Because this is where you direct your destiny in the midst of the future will clear into brilliant reality. And with that, the final card, you got to have patience with this all. It's not going to happen overnight. There's patience with it all. You know, this is divine will. This is the creation of the new divine will and stepping into it. Woo! There you go, people. I'm going to love you and leave you. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you. Thank you. I know I just looked at the time. I'm 51 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm so sorry. Have a good one, everybody. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.